Hey everybody, what's going on? Welcome back to another Average Fisherman video. Today we're going to talk about the shad spawn, what baits to throw, and what's been working on the water. So without further ado, let's dive into today's video. All right, let's dive into it. Two things I want to cover real quick. First and foremost, thank you all so much for jumping on board. Here lately, the followers and the likes on my page have just been going through the roof. And I thank you all so much for being on this journey with me and becoming part of the Average Fisherman family. And I say family because without you all, I couldn't, attract the things that I attract, like, future sponsorships, partnerships. It's because y'all share my stuff and you comment, and I thank you all so much from the bottom of my heart. So thank you so much. Second thing, I'm not showing any fish footage. I'm not going to show anything on the lake. I was fishing with somebody that is going to be fishing the Toyota Series this week, and I don't want to expose anything in the background of, where he's going to be fishing. Let's dive into what's going on Rayburn. First, the lake level is fluctuating up and down between 1.19 low to, I've seen it, drop back down to like 1.21 low, and I've seen it come up 3 or 4 inches in like in a day. So they're releasing water, they're still generating power, but we are finally starting to get some much needed rain to help bring the lake level up. With that being said, a lot of the areas on the lake, the hay grass, a lot of the cypress trees look like they've got good depth. It's a little deceiving. So when you're up there and you're like, wow, look at all these cypress trees in the water, go look at it. It might only be barely a foot deep there. Okay, so it's at a very awkward lake level right now. It's high enough to get a lot of things into the water, but it's not at the pool yet, normal pool level. And I don't think a lot of the fish are up there. It looks deceiving. So there's certain areas of the lake that you can go and you can do flipping. You could get the frogs way back up in there. And there's certain areas of the lake that it just needs to get to full pool to help it. So shad spawn. We had some 50-degree temperatures last week that kind of slowed down that shad spawn. With the cooler temperatures in the morning, the shad kind of backed off and they weren't hammering down as much. This weekend, saw a lot of shad spawn activity. Right now it's the threadfin. Seeing a lot of threadfin. I haven't seen any big gizzards yet or really come across an area that a lot of the big gizzard shad are up yet. I anticipate them coming up in the next week. Okay. There is a few areas that we thought we saw some gizzard shad, but wasn't 100% sure, and it wasn't real long. So, what can you go out there and do on Rayburn to catch fish, to catch a good sack? First and foremost, shad spawn areas take place on the main lake. Okay, they don't take place way back in pockets. They don't take, really. They take place on the main lake. Even secondary points, you could say that they do take place. Anywhere that there is a nice drop off, a nice change in depth contour lines, that's where you're going to find the most productive areas. Okay. So, if you're going up to a main lake point, it's just one big long shallow flat, go out to the underwater point where it gets ready to drop off. Because what happens is those shad are moving up in the morning to spawn, and then they're pulling back out off these drop-offs in deeper areas in this lake, and that's where they're staying for the rest of the day. The bass are kind of doing the same thing. Yes, there are still some bass spawning on Rayburn, but if you want to catch good fish, look for these areas, look for the drains and ditches. A lot of your bigger bass and better bass are in these drains and ditches, anywhere from, I would say, 8 to like 15 foot of water. We did see some fish in about 22, 24 foot of water and caught fish in that range. There are some good quality fish there. It's just the numbers aren't there yet. Okay, so let's go ahead and dive in to what I would be throwing and what I have been being really successful on. First thing I'm gonna cover is the frog. The frog bite has been really great, and I think with the splash, it's died off a lot. These fish are seeing a ton of frogs up there right now. They're seeing just an astronomical amount of frogs, okay? And you really got to focus on getting your frogs back in areas where nobody else is getting their bait. And you need to slow it down. The number one thing I tell everybody with frog fishing is get your bait back there, let it settle, and then start working it slow. Let the pauses happen, because everybody's throwing their baits back there. You know, the guys that can skip the frogs in there and they just start working them. The bass have caught on to that. Second part, it has to be up against the cover. And when I say up against a tree, I've got some footage from Saturday when I was out with Rick, and it's got to be up on the cover, okay? And you might go a long time without a bite, but the frog bite, usually when you get bit, it's a better quality fish. So let's dive back to the next shad spawn area, okay? Let's see, I'm looking down because I got some really good stuff down here. Sorry about that, camera shut off. Sometimes these things have a mind of their own. So let's look, let's start with crankbaits. All right, I'm gonna pull out, I'm gonna set them up here on my table, all right? Now, cranking, the crankbait bite is picking up. I think if you go to a certain drain or a certain area where you have better quality fish holding to the shad, the crankbait bite is better in that area. I'm not running all over the lake, and well, I'm not running all over the lake anyways, because as y'all know, I'm waiting for my Phoenix to come in July. So I'm very blessed with amazing friends and support that, you know, I'm able to tag along with guys right now. But we are going and cranking, okay? So the first thing is, this is an Azuma Z-Boss. I'm not sponsored by them. There are a lot of guys out there that are. I really like these crankbaits. We've talked about these. They're really easy on you. If you ever thrown a big plug, you know that they dive steep, some of them, and they work you. So this is an Azuma Z-Boss 20. It's one of my favorites to go to because it covers a wide range of depth. I'm throwing this on a suppressor series cranking rod, and it's on my 6XD rods on 12-pound tests. My 8XD and 10XD rod is on 15-pound tests. The reason why is because bigger plugs, you know, when you're casting them, it's a lot of stress on the line. So this is on 12-pound with I'm throwing these. This right here is a really good color for me in the Azuma series. I really like this. And you know what's crappy is, I can't even tell you the name of it, but I can show y'all. I just not real familiar with the Azuma colors yet. I like this color a lot. Especially in clean water conditions. Okay, it's very translucent, you can see. And this is a Z-Boss 22 when I'm just wanting to get a little bit deeper. And you can all see it's kind of in the shad pattern here, okay? A lot of this stuff shad pattern. I'm gonna show you one that don't sleep on it. One, crappie are really getting out there, okay? White bass are doing the shad spawn. If you don't think big bass eat white bass, you're wrong. Because when you come up to a lot of areas, those bass and white bass are mixed. And those bass don't discriminate, so they're going to eat whatever's getting in their mouth. With that being said, this one is a Strike King 6XD, and this is called Barfish. I love to crank this thing during the summer because those big bass like to eat crappie around the brush piles, and right now I do like to throw it because they're eating white bass. So, go into a drain, throw your moving bait, see if you get bit, especially in some of those drains that are leading up to those spawning points and the drop-offs, okay? Throw that plug out there, crank it, burn it, beat the ground up, get a reaction bite. That's what you need to do with them, okay? So let's dive into the next thing, which is probably one of my favorites to go to when the bass are backing back off, okay? And even when they are up there, you'll learn a lot of your bigger bass are lazy, and you will not see them on the surface smacking the shad. You're not going to see them up there chasing. They let the smaller ones in that 3 to 5 pound range chase the bait, hit them, they stun them, and they float down, and your bigger ones are sitting down there just getting free meals. What I like to go to, you can throw it on a Texas rig. I like a Carolina rig, is one of my go-tos, and that I'm getting bit on and getting some good quality fish on, is this Cross Baits Watermelon Candy Split Tail, okay? I know it's kind of hard to see in these light conditions in here, and I'm sorry, but watermelon candy is a very good color to throw. It's got a lot of purple in it and green, and it's a split tail, okay? It mimics the bait right now, so match the hatch. That's one of them that I really like to throw. Another really good color that I like to throw, especially in cleaner water conditions, is this one here is still the split tail, and this one's plum apple, okay, in cross baits. You can see right here, all right? I love this color because it has a lot of flash to it, okay? And in those cleaner water conditions, this thing really does excel. All right, if it's a little dirtier conditions, I'm gonna throw that green pumpkin magic color. I really like that, you know. There's another color that I actually meant to grab, but it's actually in my little go bag up front, and it's more of a bluish, like white color. And that one is really good in the early morning color. Okay, if you're dragging early morning, that's a go-to. Okay, the next thing I want to talk about, okay, is if you're all up there and you're flipping around the brush and you're trying to get bit, even throwing it offshore, okay, on a Texas rig, and you guys are targeting areas that have standing timber, stumps, your brush piles that are around the shad spawn areas, because those bass are going to go hold the cover and they're going to wait for those shad to come back in. You can't go wrong with this bait right here if you're flipping. I'm not even kidding. It's across baits. This one right here is green pumpkin magic, okay? This is their debug. Y'all know that I like to flip the debug. I love it. And this green pumpkin magic color is just an amazing color, because why? In cross baits, and this is what I love about what Danny does with his baits. He is a fisherman, and he pays attention to the size of the fleck. This one has bigger silver fleck in it, okay? Yes, it does. Yeah, it's a creature bait. I understand that. But when it's down there and you're hopping it off the bottom, a lot of times those bass, especially during the shad spawn, think it's a, you know, dying shad down there, especially with that silver in it. When you're flipping it in cover, I don't know really what the reason is up there, except, you know, right now the crawdads are, you know, they're starting to get in that summer look to them where they're, you know, they get that green pumpkin to them, okay? So this is a big go-to to me for flipping, even on my Carolina rigs out there. I like to mix it up. Another one that I've been pairing up, and I have been catching some really good fish on it, and it's no secret, and everybody freaks out when I show them this. It is the Crossbaits Wormzilla. And everybody freaks out because of the size, okay? What I'm going to tell you is that you let the fish tell you kind of what they want. This weekend, they were not going for the full-size version, and I was trimming about that much off, okay? Now, this is no longer than a 10.5-inch worm, curly tail worm. If you pull the worm tail all the way out, they're the same size. I was trimming this just a little bit, okay? And what's so important about the Wormzilla is, even on the Texas rig, when you hit and this thing hits, it's going to rise up, okay? So I was throwing this around cover, standing timber, you know, in the brush piles, and working this thing slow. And you all know that right now, a very good color as we start to come into summer. Right now, this red bug color is just a smashing color. Okay, I'm not getting necessarily bit on the 10.5-inch ribbon tail worms and stuff as much right now. That thing's still getting bit, and I'm gonna go back to it because it's a meal, and it's a little more action. It floats up. Okay, it's one of my go-tos right now. Another good color, as the season starts to progress a little more in like probably about 2 more weeks, your plum. Okay, plum crazy. You can't go wrong with plum during the summer. And, you know, like, well, we've pretty much gone from spring right into summer here in Southeast Texas. You all know how that works. But those plum colors, okay, get them out there, get them in the brush piles and start working them. I can't say enough, just shad spawn, shad spawn, shad spawn right now. If you go in an area and you know there's a lot of big fish leading up to it, if there's a drain or a ditch or, you know, a creek that's touching it, those bass are going to go down and they're going to relate to that. After the shad spawn's over in the morning, they're going to pull back and they're going to hang out a little deeper. Okay, you can still smash on them in the secondary feeding windows down there. Got to be patient, and they'll kick back on. You'll start catching quality. What I'll tell you about the shad spawn is if you come to an area and you're catching nothing but 2-pounders, get something subsurface. Throw that crankbait. Throw those baits. Drag below them. Okay, see if you've got better quality fish below. If you don't, go find somewhere else. Especially if you're a tournament fisherman, go find somewhere else. That's just the school. That is the quality that's there. Leave, go to another area that's something similar, that what you're catching your fish on in the shad spawn, fish that area, sample the quality. I think that the lake is in a very good state. Really, you can go do a lot of things right now and get bit. I wouldn't say that the offshore bite, I mean like deep shore bite, is really there yet. It's starting to get there, but if I were to go out and if I was fishing the Toyota this week, which I want to say good luck to all my buddies fishing it. I hope you all catch some giants. I want to let you all know that if I was going to do it, I would go and I would stick to the main lakes, the main lake area. I would target points. I would target the ditches. I would target. Sorry about that. Battery died. Yeah, I'm trying to smash this one together this evening real quick to get something out to y'all. So sorry it died. I would definitely target those main lake areas and stick to that. Okay. Cover water. If you got an area that you're smashing on those fish, the shad spawn, dragging Carolina rigs and stuff, go elsewhere, let them rest, come back. Okay, you can come back and still pick them up. Don't just live and die on one spot. That is a no-no, okay? I tell you that because I've done that because I was on some giant fish before and I decided a few times, I've done it a few times, that if I don't get bit, fine, I'm good with it, but I knew what was there. Right now, you can go get 16, 17 pounds pretty quick, and if you just cover in water, okay, make the most of your morning. Another thing that I would tell you all to throw, and I showed you last time, is a spinnerbait and a shad color. Get on those points, roll those spinnerbaits. You'll get bit. And usually your spinnerbaits are catching better quality fish. When I get bit on a spinnerbait, it's usually 3 pounds and up. So, with that being said, that's what's going on in Rayburn right now. Just give you all an update. Yeah, I'm still waiting on my Phoenix boat to come in. It's going to come in July. I am super excited and I can't wait to show her off to you all. So I got a little bit to wait, but you know, blessed with great people that's around me that, you know, have told me, hey, anytime you want to go out, you tell me and we'll go. And I'm sorry I'm not going to show any footage, but you know, my buddy, I can't be showing where he's at right now because we went out Sunday and we probably had 17 pounds and we didn't set the hook on everything. We sampled a little bit in each area like you would for tournament fishermen. I was just happy to be tagging along and, you know, kind of, you know, going to traditional areas that he knows I fish. We fish together in other tournaments. So, had a great time this weekend. I've got stuff from when Rick and I were out Saturday that I'll get up later on this week and show y'all. Rick put a beat down on a lot of white bass early in the morning and it was awesome. We caught some really big catfish. And man, in that video I want to show y'all, I want to show y'all what old 18 rods can do. I mean, we had them bowed up, you know, with these big catfish and it was funny. I caught a big one too. It's like wrong fish Wednesday every time I go out lately. I think I hook into my final double digit and it ends up being a carp or a drum. It's just, that's how it's going. So the double digit's been haunting me lately. I still don't have one. Most people go their whole life and never catch one. I hope I don't do that. But with that being said, guys, hey, I want to give a big shout out to all my, you know, partnership and sponsors. You know, Old 18 Outfitters, man, they make the best rods in the business. Everybody says that when, you know, you see it on the internet, but I mean it. And you're not going to find a rod like this for the price point. They're veteran owned and, you know, they've got a great rod builder with a ton of experience. He's been in the industry for a long time. Cross baits. Hey guys, if you're not fishing cross baits, you're behind the curve. He's got kicking bass attractants in his stuff, which we're going to have a wink, a little announcement coming up, something about that. And, you know, cross baits, if you guys go out there and use Chad 10, you'll get 10% off for Old 18 Outfitters, if you use Marler C, M-A-R-L-E-R, the letter C, you're going to get 20% off. Guys, there's no better time to get your frog rods, okay? Right now. Go check Crossbaits out. Go check Old 18 Outfitters out. And, you know, guys, Solar Bat sunglasses. Still waiting for my pair to come in, but the owner is an optometrist. So what's that say about the company? Okay, go check them out. Go check out Platinum Nutrition here in Jasper. Okay, they're amazing people there. The lady that runs it, I get my protein shakes there every morning. You can get your teas, a lot of health stuff. Okay, they're great people. Zilla Gear Outdoors, go check them out, guys. Okay, you guys see me wear those insane fishing jerseys. Right now, you need to be getting your jerseys, okay? Don't get burned up with the sun. Those things are vented. They keep you cool, and they are ahead in the jersey business at a great price point, okay? You know, I tell you all this, you know, people complain because I talk about, you know, I've had people complain because I talk about my sponsors and stuff in videos. Hey, without them, some of this stuff I couldn't be doing, and I'm very grateful for everything that they do for me, and, you know, I try to, you know, do them justice and market them as much as I can, because in this world, we all know that, you know, everybody's easy to jump on and start hating on everybody. There needs to be a little more love out there in the world. So with that being said, I hope everybody's doing well. I hope everybody has a great rest of your week. And if y'all got any questions, drop them in the bottom. I've got something a little extra coming this week. It's a big announcement that's going to happen when Rick and I do our live. So keep an eye out, because that's going to be coming up here shortly. Without further ado, you all have a great rest of your week. And remember to get after it. Stay positive, because people feed off of it. As always, God bless you, and God bless the United States of America. Until next time, everybody, out.
You need 1620 right now. Yep, 1764. That's where it goes. The rest of the right
there, Kennedy.
Again now, right here. I don't know if I'm